but just sort of a comment on someone who's struggled with depression and anxiety and tried to sort of find your way, but you still sort of feel like there are some things missing. Is that and possibly diet is one of those? Is that accurate? Okay. Diet, meditation, something holding back willpower, meditation. We can just go down the line if that's okay.
Well, in traditional Chinese medicine, they say the most important thing is meditation. So some sort of connection to spirit or wherever you came from, whether it's your own body or whatever religious belief you have, something that roots you, right? And not everybody does that. The other thing is everything's yin and yang. Everything always changes. So your day-to-day chi level, your day-to-day stress is different. My teacher will look at his patient and say, "You're having a bad day. It's okay. Tomorrow will be better." Then he'll look away and he'll go, "You have a good day? It's okay. Tomorrow will be worse." You got to learn to go with the flow, right? And that's a trained process. I mean, when you do yoga, when you do all sorts of different mindful-based activities, that's kind of how you learn it. And then, looking at your diet, you should talk to somebody about your diet and different things. I talk to people about stress. What do you do to release your stress? They go, "Oh, go running." Well, that's a little bit like turning your car on and leaving it going in the parking lot. It's just you're still burning. You need to do something yin, water-like.
Catherine, what are your thoughts?
Okay. The question that Martin had, what do you do to kind of balance yourself, to slow down, to de-stress, detension, whatever. The movement of energy, and I'm a big proponent of that movement of energy. So when we let's talk about depression or anxiety. To me, there's energy stuck in the body, right? It could be in the mind, could be emotional, whatever that is. So it's finding something, a practice, an outlet for you to clear that. And on the radio show today, I talked about simply breathing, learning how to breathe effectively, and most of you don't. Okay? Talking about energy and our connection to source, whatever you call that. Okay? Our life force comes in on our breath. So it's a constant movement of energy, bringing in the old and letting go, bringing in the new, letting go of the old. So when we have depression and anxiety, that type of thing, we're hanging on to emotions, stresses. We're hanging on to that. And there's many modalities to let that go. What Martin does, yoga, running can do that. It can, with the proper breathing and the complement to that, which would be, of course, relaxation, plenty of sleep, that type of thing. So it's a matter of releasing or clearing the mind of perceived shame, blame, whatever, okay? And meditation can do that. A mindful breathing can do that. There's many. I prefer yoga. I teach several disciplines and schools of yoga. I also run, I also lift weights. I do a lot of meditation. I do a lot of, singing. Singing can do that. And we don't even have to be aware of what it is, as long as we're moving the breath, moving the energy, getting rid of the old, bringing in the new. Does that help at all? And there's many ways. There's many tools. It's not just my way. I prefer my way, but there's many that can be a benefit to you. So I would suggest that you explore that, what works for you.
Patrick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, as far as diet-wise, I mean, most of the time, if people are having anxiety, how much carbs are we eating a day? How much sugars are we taking in? I admit it. I'm an ice cream fanatic. If I see it, I'm going to eat it. It's kind of that way. So I have to be very disciplined. And if I'm feeling more stressed out, that's a comfort food to me. That's immediately I'll think, oh, ice cream. And you would think that is supposed to de-stress, but it doesn't. Because of the carbohydrate or the sugars that are causing, it's actually doing more damage than you think. One thing that you can do, if it is the carbs, reduce the amount of carbs that you're taking in. So your diet needs to just change in that sense, reduce the amount of sugars or carbohydrates. That's the breads, that's the simple sugars, things of this nature that you would constantly take in, empty carbohydrates. There are times when you want to take those kind of carbohydrates because you need them, because that'll be something you would want to take like maybe in the morning. Add some cinnamon to it. Cinnamon actually helps to balance blood sugar levels. So cinnamon as a natural, because you could take that as a supplement, but as just something to add to, put that in there. Ginger, taking ginger, adding ginger to your diet. These are the kind of things that you can definitely do. Even the proteins like fish. Fish is high not only in everybody talks about omega-3s, but what's in the omega-3s is that DHA, which is food for the brain or food for the mind. So a lot of times that helps with even moods. There's a lot of support to studies that would show that for that diet type. So adding some of those things, taking the carbs out typically around no later than 3 o'clock in the afternoon, okay? And then eat more plant-based foods. You can still have your protein, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is eat more plants. That's anything from spinach. That's your green leafy type foods. Why? Because they're not only alkaline, but they have full of minerals, and also to help you just kind of over support. And then remember the watery, when I was telling you, because of people that are stressed out, people that have anxiety, eat like watermelon or melons, anything that has that sweet or that water base. Those, though they may have like that simple sugar, they actually help as far as certain kinds of things. Don't overdo it. It's not like you go grab one big old watermelon and just go, I'm gonna down this sucker tonight. That's not what I'm saying, but just in moderation and just in those little moderations, they will do a lot. I love grapes too. That really help. Pineapple, phenomenal. People that have anxiety have issues even with digestion sometimes. People that have problems with stress, they have problems with their digestion. So pineapple has bromelain. Bromelain is this enzyme in there that actually helps the process of foods. But what's beautiful about pineapple is the fact that if you take it even between meals, you're not eating it necessarily, maybe before or after a meal, maybe 2 hours after or before, then what it does is actually helps reduce inflammation that can actually support reducing some of the inflamed in, the stomach as well. So carbohydrates, sugars, reduce them, cut them off till about, 3 o'clock. Eat more green vegetables at nighttime and see how that works for you.
Yes, ma'am.